Good evening and welcome to Friday Night Thunder. Tonight, we come to you live from the Irish Hills of Michigan. It's Season 3, it's Round 5, it's the Moonlight Racing League's Friday Night Thunder ARCA series. I'm your host, Snake, and with me, I've got my companion and my partner in crime, Smokin' Joe. Joe, what's happening tonight?
Well, we've gone to the Irish Hills of Michigan, as they call it, for
Aye, laddie.
some great racing here at good old Michigan International Speedway. This, of course, used to be a very big track back in the day. Kind of is now too, with Detroit rebuilding itself back up for all these manufacturers. Going to see a lot of Chevys, a lot of Fords, maybe some Toyotas out there here today too. A lot of pride goes into winning at Michigan, just because of how big it is for the auto industry and all that kind of stuff. So we all know how it drives around here too. Going to be a lot of 2-3 wide action today. We'll see how much tire wear comes into effect with that temp up at 95 degrees on that track surface.
Yeah, Michigan, definitely a speed palace, one of my favorite tracks to race at and watch racing at. And yeah, definitely a lot of bragging rights for the manufacturer that does win this race. But for our purposes tonight, we're going to have a little thunder at the 2 mile D-shaped oval, 76-degree air temperature, middle range humidity there, light breeze. But just like Joe alluded to, that high tire track temperature, we'll have to take a look at grip and tire wear. We'll see if we can work the bottom, work the middle, work the top, and I can't wait to get it started here tonight.
Yep.
So we'll take a look here at our stuff from last week, taking a look at our points situation. You got Kenneth Redinger in the lead right there. He definitely has a 9-point advantage over Eric Gambrill. Joe Volpus in third place, 13 back. Justin Parham scored big last week, able to creep up that ladder into fourth. And then you have Matt Novella sliding a position in fifth. Steve Lewis definitely in sixth place, well in play, a top 10 staple of the series. Tommy Fox, another top 10 staple of the series as well. They swap positions there. Jason Rochelle having a strong showing, moves up the ladder 3 spots in a seventh. Dalton Connor remains unchanged, the rookie in eighth. And then here we go in 10th. Jay Stinson rounds that out. Another big move after a good finish last week.
Yeah, last week we saw a lot of crazy racing at Dover. Saw 3 wide for the race win there towards the end. Justin Parham was able to overcome everything that happened throughout the race and get the dub in the first race of the season at a concrete track, good old Dover. So we'll see, as well as the second technical short track of the season after Richmond was won by his buddy Ken Redinger, his teammate there. So those two right now off to a good start once again here in the ARCA series, racing at these short tracks. But we're coming to a larger surface here today, so we'll see how much that really plays into this race. We've had 4 winners in 4 races so far as well, so could we see a 5th different winner today?
Anything's possible, especially at a place like Michigan, like where you just said, you can go 2-3 wide. The draft effect is really going to have quite an effect on the racing, and you're going to have comers and goers as those push the pace early might pay the price with the tire wear later in the run if we stay green. There's a lot of things at play here, and I'm really excited to see how they qualify because that might set the table for a lot of the action that we're about to see unfold tonight.
Yeah, qualifying just getting underway here as well. So we go check in on that over there. See, Dalton Connor was the first one to put down a lap time. He's currently 4th on the boards. Joe Volpus, Jack Sanders, and now Zach Panzarella to the top as this leaderboard's going to keep changing as these guys complete their first and second laps.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you might have the strategy of try to get that fast time on the first lap. Some might nurse it around to try to go lap 2 to get the heater. There's a lot of different philosophies here. But Zach Panzarella currently your pole sitter, so we ride on board here with David Brenner. He's currently in 5th, so he's got himself a pretty good starting spot if that holds true. And it looks like Panzarella is going to continue to hold the lead there as the current pole sitter. Joe Volpus with that top 2 time. So we'll see what happens here as we watch Jay Stinson right now currently in 8th. We'll see if he puts down a heater here and improves his time. Looks like that's going to help him get to second outside there. The pole, Panzarella still on top. Kind of thirsty. I want a diet, dude. That sounds pretty tasty right now. And then last week's winner, Joe, Justin Parham there. You know, no stranger to poles and qualifying up front. That horny goat weed is looking really trippy-dippy there. I love the color scheme.
Yep, he was 6th on the first lap. Looks like he might have something for him on the second lap. After this, we'll go over to Ken Redinger, who just put down his first lap as a banker. Steve Lewis goes second on the board. And Parham doesn't really get a lot, only gets him to 5th.
Yeah, Parham qualifying 5th. The 88 of Steve Lewis snags that second position. Pretty exciting for Steve. Good starting spot for him. Right on board with Redinger here, who's been a staple of the series here. Just strong finishes, leading lots of laps, couple wins already. Your last season champion, Ken Redinger here. See if he can improve on that 11th place time. Dive the bottom like you want to run the apron there, Joe. Looks like nicks the grass a little bit. I don't know if that incident's going to count against him. Looks like it won't. Only able to prove up to 9th, so inside the top 10 currently for Ken Redinger. And he did it for the Lucky Charms, Joe. Eric Gambrell there. He likes all those marshmallows in his cereal. So the Lucky Charms machine right there. Rainbow Warrior indeed. Looks like a top 12 effort right there. We'll see if he can do better on that the second lap.
Yeah, this will be the last guy to put down another lap time here in qualifying. So if anybody's going to dethrone Zach Panzarella from starting first, it's going to be Eric Gambrell right here.
Yeah, that car is going to be real easy to spot on the track tonight, Joe. Very colorful.
Yeah, it is. Great paint scheme there. Bit of a throwback to maybe the old Skittles paint scheme, just with a different sponsor. Do love that nice little throwback touch to it. Let's see what he's got.
You know, it's quite fitting. Lucky Charms, Irish Hills of Michigan. Nice tie-in. I see what you did there, Gambrell. Going to work himself a 9th place qualifying effort, so inside the top 10. So not enough to dethrone your pole sitter. Zach Panzarella going to lead us to green here from Michigan with the 38.190, ripping that lap. Almost a 37-second lap time right there. Great qualifying effort. Steve Lewis going to start outside row 1 right there, and inside row 2, Jay Stinson in the 60 machine, and Joe Volpus going to be outside row 2. Great qualifying effort there. Justin Parham inside row 3. Jack Sanders with a great effort there outside row 3, and then Dalton Connor. He's going to be inside row 4, and Richard Swingle makes a guest appearance tonight. Great to see the Phantom in action. He's going to be outside row 4, and then Gambrell and Redinger are going to complete the top 10.
Yep, looking further on back, only a couple other guys put down lap times, that being David Brenner, who ends up in 11th, alongside Matthew Fritz. Jerry Rose was the last one to put down a lap time. Looked like he only got his bank lap in as he hit the wall on his fast lap. Ends up 13th. And then you get your no qualifier guys. Nate Lesko making his debut after not being able to grid up last week. Going to start alongside Rose. And then we got Sam Milliken, Matt Novella starting on row number 8. Lucas Alves, John Beverly going to start behind them on row number 9, and rounding out the field on row 10 is going to be Tommy Fox and Brandon Garand. So we got 7 guys that didn't put down a lap time, all guys that are usually very good here at Michigan as well. So I'm excited to see them try and work through this field.
Yeah, there's a lot of top-tier talent here tonight. A lot of speed on the track, and a lot of guys here that don't normally race full-time, but definitely race with a lot of the roster in other series. So it's going to be a who's who tonight. We're definitely missing a few people that do run full-time, so we hope to see them again soon. But for right now, it's going to be a 20-man duel for 85 laps at Michigan.
Yep, everybody's still gridding up though, so we still got a few seconds here before we get ready to rock and roll. Looks like everybody might be gridded up now. But, you know, before we go green, good chance just to shout out, of course, old Kevin Kyle and KK Woodscapes and all the work that he does in MRL with this series and the other series as well. Great trophies. Hope everybody's gotten theirs and has been enjoying them. Daniel Plant-Smith, Ken Redinger, the season champions from the past, as well as Zach Clausen getting the best of the rest this past season.
Yeah, and we'll have an advertisement for him later in the race. But before we let him rip through this 2-mile oval, Joe, what are some things to look for at Michigan? How do you want to approach this track and race it tonight?
Well, I think what you really want to look out for is how are the tires going to react with the air temp being 73 degrees. I believe we got the track temp probably right around 90 with the way the sun is out right now. A little bit cloudy though, a little bit of humidity as well. So got to keep the tires in a good working temperature pretty much. That's always the goal with this car. General tires usually last pretty well, but just like the Cup car, these tires do have a tendency if they overheat then you end up in some trouble. So I think everybody's just going to have to manage their tires and the tire temperatures more than anything else.
With that draft effect, it's so tempting to want to get that run, take that run, and be a hero on any given lap, any given set of corners, Joe. So we'll have to look forward to seeing who's going to be daring early here and who's going to be more mindful about paying attention to the long game here, taking care of their stuff. I'm really excited to see who is going to take those risks early. And it looks like we're going to find out, Joe, because the pace car is off.
Yep, here we go.
So you have Zach Panzarella on the inside, Steve Lewis on the outside. We're green from Michigan. Zach Panzarella gets a great jump. It's Friday Night Thunder. They're side by side, row by row, getting up to speed right there. Looks like a clean start. Zach Panzarella able to clear Lewis and get up in front of him, get that preferred corner entry, go up the middle, go down to the bottom, carry that speed as they get up to speed, let them tires come up to temp. And you see the slide job from Jay Stinson over Lewis into second place on the backstretch. They're getting racy, Joe. Look what's happening there. Steve Lewis is coming down, going to dive it down, and Stinson's going to wrap the outside. 3 wide with Parham down at the bottom.
Yeah, I think this is the best view to really show what's going on. The blimp view shows all in the 3 wide action already here on lap 1. Justin Parham going to try his best to side draft alongside Steve Lewis. Oh!
A little bit of contact, perhaps, gets an aggressive side draft right there, going to gain the position. You see Jay Stinson on the outside there. I think Parham's going to be able to clear him, and not exactly. Stinson's going to get the run on the outside. Volpus behind him. They're side by side down the backstretch. Gambrel with the run behind them as well. Sanders in tow, as you see Richard Swingle down on the bottom. Volpus is going to be able to get in front of Lewis, use the air to his advantage, get the run on Parham here.
Yep, these guys up front, they've let Zach Panzarella get away, but the racing further on back is just as chaotic as it is up front. I know you touched on Richard Swingle. He's making his move right now up the field. See Jack Sanders right behind him as well. These guys trying to single out, maybe catch back up, but then further back, you got Matt Novella and other guys going 2 and 3 wide. Look at that move from Brandon back there.
Contact with Garand in the Cheetos machine of Nate Lesko. Nate Lesko able to gather it back up and save it. He's in the grass. Maybe not save it. He's in the tires a little bit, but we're still green.
He might be having some technical issues. That's way off the racing surface. I think he's done.
And Nate Lesko, he's going to exit to the pits there. I don't know what happened, but it looks like some kind of issue. And we race on from Michigan, lap 4 of 85. And they're looking 3 wide there. But Stinson's going to tuck behind Lewis. You know, you want to kind of stick your nose out there, get a little bit of clean air as well. That dirty air is going to wreak havoc here at Michigan.
Yeah, it is. So right now, those guys trying to use that momentum of the high side to get around Swingle. If we go back up front, though, things starting to get close here. Panzarella starting to feel maybe a little bit of pressure as Parham and Volpes have been 2-car tandeming closer to him lap by lap.
They're starting to get the suckle. You see Volpus and Parham inching closer. Panzarella is a sitting duck. He got out to that far lead. Did he manage his stuff, or is it going to start heating up the tires, come back to haunt him? But you see Volpus and Parham working together.
Oh, we got trouble.
Steve Lewis a little bit further behind. I see a little gaggle behind there. What's happened? We got Swingle in a plume of smoke. He is around and stopped. And that's going to bring out our caution, first caution of the night from Michigan on lap 5.
That is a tough break. It looks like Swingle is going to have to use the tow and the fast repair right here as the first caution of the night comes out.
So trouble at Michigan early. Richard Swingle in the 97 involved. We'll have to go take a look at the replay and see what happened there. But, you know, when you get all close together with this pack-style racing, and then, you know, the multiple grooves there, I think the dirty air in the seam got Swingle. and he hit the inside wall there, so that was absolutely terminal. So he's going to have to use that fast repair. It's a little slippery on the bottom there early, Joe, with that hot track temperature, and you also have to manage those seams there. You can get really slippery.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to switch lanes just to ease his way back up the track, and when he tried to do it, it just twitched on him pretty much, and he couldn't get back control of it. Got the wall. Unfortunately, it put him right into the nose of Jay Stinson, and then the nose of his car into the inside wall.
Yeah, Stinson with the momentum, nothing you can do there. Just a handling issue there. And unfortunate for Swingle, brings out the first caution of the night. You see a little contact with Sanders into the back of the 60. Probably just some minor cosmetic stuff, just a little bump. However, Swingle's going to have to use that fast repair.
Yeah, you saw the poof of smoke when that thing went boom there, so it definitely blew up. So right now, it's still towing as the rest of the field looks like a lot of guys coming down pit road for some fuel here.
Yeah, I think maybe it had some green flag long run vibes there. So maybe you just want to top off. Far too early to take tires at this point. You want to keep those 2 additional sets in the pits for as long as you can, because you never know what can happen. It'd be great to have a set late in the race just in case.
Yep, you can see topping off there the 99, the 13, the 60, the 88, all of them just topping off on fuel. And we had 2 stay out here. Zach Panzarella, the leader, stays out along with Dalton Connor. So those 2 are not going to have the luxury of having these extra 6 laps of fuel. We'll see if that comes into factor later on in the race or not.
Yeah, so they'll be able to save a little bit here under caution, but you're not going to be able to make up that 5-lap difference that the rest of the field has on you. So I don't know if that's a planned strategy or just a whoops on the part of the 1 and the 93, but I'm very curious to see how that works out in case we do go long here when we go back to green.
Yep, definitely curious to see how it plays out for him. We're only on lap 7 here pretty much at this point in the race. But, we're still talking about fuel mileage here, right? So, we can go probably somewhere between 36,
Yeah.
38 laps on a tank of fuel if we go green. So we're just outside the window of making it on 1 stop. But, with the way the draft is, you might be able to save that little bit of fuel you need to make it on 1 stop. So I think that's why all these boys pitted here.
Yeah, I think it's one of those cases of if you're mired in the pack there, you can modulate the throttle, kind of use the draft to your advantage, and you might be able to save that extra precious half a lap or even 2 laps. It may come down to that later in the race. So these guys are definitely thinking forward, thinking ahead for later in the race. And, being that we're only 7 laps in, Joe, what have you noticed thus far? I know it's a little bit of a small sample size, but what kind of action are you seeing on the track?
Well, it does seem like clean air is king because Zach Panzarella took the lead there, if you saw, pretty much right off the rip, and has been controlling the race ever since to this point. So Zach doing a good job. There's been no lead changes yet to this point. Zach has led all 7 of the laps currently ran in this race. So that tells me that, of course, saving tires is going to be a key factor, but also finding a way to get up front into clean air is going to be your other main key here tonight.
Yeah, controlling the pace is going to be huge. You can hold the line that you want. You're not going to be affected by the other cars. And, Zach did a really good job of that, getting right out of the gate, clearing the start of the race and getting his preferred line. He kind of drove away there while the others were battling each other with slide jobs and side drafts and pack-style racing that we've come to enjoy here at a place like Michigan. So we'll see how business picks up when the pace car pulls off here in a moment. Panzarella in the 1 DDI machine on the inside, Dalton Connor in that 93 machine on the outside, and everybody else with a little bit more fuel behind him. As we go back green for racing, Panzarella gets a great jump. The high side a little bit stalled out there. The bottom gets going a lot better, and you see Volpus drop down to the bottom. Panzarella in first, Parham in second, slides up in front of Connor, and looks like Volpus going to go down to the bottom of the track, going to clear Lewis's nose, and Stinson riding the high line with David Brenner behind here. And look at all these guys. It's like a gaggle of geese right there. Driving down to the bottom, finding any inch of real estate. The 77 gets back up into line right there.
See Zach Panzarella pulling away again. We'll see if he's able to keep it going this time. Parham, Vulpes in the same situation they were last time. Here comes Steve Lewis up the inside, up to 4th with that move. Eric Gambrell going to try and follow through. These guys side by side, 2x2. Some maybe thinking about 3 wide a little further back. Looks like Jack Sanders might be 3 wide.
Look at the run on the bottom there. Yeah, these guys are really cooking. 3 wide behind him with Novella on the inside, Redinger on the outside. It's picking up here early. See, Michigan breeds that with those runs, Joe. That arrow is incredible with the way the draft effect is with these cars on the iRacing service. Interesting to see how these guys control those runs and not cause the big one here. You see the 93 of Connor looking inside, Gambrell down below. Steve Lewis having a great run, recovering from starting second, getting back up into the swing of things. Steve Lewis inside the top 5.
Yep, and you look up front, they've worked together here, and they got Zach Panzarella under pressure now. But it looks like the dirty air might still be in effect because they're able to pull. He's able to pull him in the corners again. Look at this chaos.
This is an interesting,
look at this.
Interesting tendency with the clean air from the leader. But look at these guys in the middle towards the back of the pack. Really incredible to watch. You see Garand and Beverly on the bottom working together. Brenner and Stinson on the top. Garand able to clear, but thinks better of it. Goes down low. Beverly in tow. And Stinson going for the side draft. Brenner looking for a little action there. Sanders and Redinger a little bit of side action. It's awesome tandem racing here. 2x2x2. 3 wide. Novella looking inside. Takes the aggressive dive. Look at Novella.
Yep, 3 wide again, and now they're going to be 3 wide here for a top 10 spot once again.
Yep. Beverly in the sucker hole there. Novella and Sanders able to clear. Redinger just cruising on the outside. Beverly said, all right, Novella, I'll follow you. Where are we going?
Yep, here you go. Going to push him down that front stretch. Yep, we're going to see some of this here today, too. Just like we saw in the Daytona 500, you know, you're going to have guys that are going to hook up together and try and push their way past others. Not going to have the same kind of effect at a track like this, where tire wear is more prevalent, though. But we might see some of those boys try and hook up and do this just because of the momentum on the outside, try and keep that inside, at least side by side with them.
Yeah, the high side definitely taking effect here, carrying the run. They've got the momentum and the pace there. But will that wear tires faster? We'll have to see. But I'm noticing the clean air is king. Panzarella seems to have a force field around him at this point in the race. We're 14 laps in at Michigan.
These 3 are 3 wide again for position. Matt Novella trying his best to make this bottom work. He just can't get it to do what he wants it to, though. Oh, I think I saw a little contact maybe a little further up.
Absolutely.
Oh!
Oh, Garand in the wall. Brandon Garand with a big problem. That's going to bring out caution once more. That 57 is broken, and the yellow is out at Michigan. He's going to have to tow. We'll have to see what happened there.
There was a caution, no
circumstance. Oh, we're still going green after that. Incredible action. The yellow was swallowed on that. We're still racing.
It does seem like there was no
unbelievable.
Yeah, no caution from iRacing, which is actually really shocking right there. And then by the time admins were able to see it, car already towed. Don't understand why iRacing wouldn't have thrown it there, because there's a car stopped on the racing surface.
Not sure what exactly happened there. We'll have to take a look at that at a further point in the race, but Garand going to have to tow and use that precious fast repair and go down a lap or maybe multiple laps. We'll have to wait and find out. But Panzarella is still your leader after I called a phantom caution that never came out. Justin Parham and Joe Vulpes and Eric Gambrell inching closer. So maybe a little bit of that tire wear coming into play, Joe, or maybe these guys working together behind him, able to inch ever closer. It's going to get really interesting here in a moment as we go down the backstretch.
Yeah, it looks like Matt Novella's the only one trying to make moves right now. Everybody else is single filed out here at this point in the
Parham's there.
Oh, the one's loose!
Woo! Panzarella loose, slides it. He's going to lose the momentum. Parham's going to take advantage of that. Was that a little case of getting a little bit under that left rear, making him loose, Joe? Or is that something that's going on with the hot traffic there on track surface?
Yeah, I think that was more he overheated that right rear tire a little bit too much, and he needs to cool it off now. And And it looks like it's benefited Justin Parham the most. Gambrell tried to make a move up the inside, couldn't get it to stick, and now he's going to get crossed over by the 13.
They have Volpus looking inside. Justin Parham, your new race leader from Michigan, after a harrowing moment from the one of Panzarella. Oh my goodness, that was wild ride. I bet you he had his OS moment right there, but he's back in action. He's going to gather it back up, cool those tires off, and get back into the swing of things. But the 99 is to the lead. Volpus behind him, stalking. Gambrell right behind him. Incredible action from Michigan. You see Gambrell splits to the high side. Panzarella on the inside. He said, no, I want that lead back. He gathers it back up and charges forth. Volpus in front. Can they do anything with the 99 right here? We're going to let Justin lead some laps.
Zach going to try and use the inside again. I don't know if it's going to work. He's going to try his
Going
best.
really aggressive.
Going to try his best to get it mid-corner. Doesn't look like it's going to work for him. Dalton Connor makes the pass on Gambrell back behind them. And the outside line with all the momentum needed right there.
High line dominant for sure. The one had to try it though, but that just concerns me, Joe. If the one keeps diving it there, is he going to chew up those general tires? You saw the loose condition there from heating those up earlier. We'll have to see if that takes a toll on that one car as we go forward. But Parham getting a push from the 13 down the backstretch. And looky who's here. It's Dalton Connor in the mix.
Yeah, they're all now on top of this 99 car as he's going to use the high line. 13's going to follow him. The one's going to be able to slide into
job
second.
In front of Opus. You see Guerin back on the track, so he's able to get back on the track after losing just 2 laps. So hopefully he's wishing for the yellow to wave here and get a few of them back. But the 57 back on track. Good to see that.
Yeah, he needs a caution right now so he doesn't go a 3rd lap down. And there's a car spinning.
Oh, Matt Novella spinning. 56 loses it on the backstretch. Matt Novella with a problem, able to lock it down and gather it back up. The 56 got loose on the corner exit there. And that's going to bring out the yellow. Very interesting circumstances here at Michigan. Caution comes out for the 2nd time today after Matt Novella has a spin coming out of turn 2. That's just what the doctor ordered for the 57, Joe, as we ride here and see what happened to Matt. Looks like he got stuck on that seam a little bit.
Yep, and then he just had a bit of an overcorrect moment. Did a good job not hitting anything, though. Blocked it down, got it turned, and stayed on the apron right there. Very interesting that iRacing threw it for that. But, well, I guess we'll have to have a talk with iRacing and why this was a caution and not the other thing.
Very incredibly, you can see he's off the racing surface, the primary racing surface there, whereas we saw Guerin in the wall amongst other cars, and we kept racing. So a curious circumstance here, but Matt Novella able to take care of the car, live to fight another day. The worst thing that happened there was a little flat spotting on the tires.
Yeah, and he lost any track position he had. Now he's back in 17th. That's going to get Richard Swingle the lucky dog, so he will be back on the lead lap after having to tow and use the fast repair on the first caution of the race. Brandon Garand is now cycled back to 2 down. As long as everybody pits here, he might take the wave around, but everybody in front of him has to pit.
And we're about to find out and see if that does happen. You figure here where we've got some laps under our belt. It looks like Parham and Panzarella are going to go. Volpus staying out. So no wave around. Brenner too, a few guys staying out, but it looks like the rest of the field is going to come down. The question is it too early for tires here?
Yeah, I think this is where we're going to start seeing the strategies split off from each other. Volpus and Brenner feel like they've saved enough to make it on one stop. If these guys aren't taking tires here, this is just pretty much a safety play on fuel. Parham misses his pit stall a little bit.
Oh, the race leader with a bobble right there, so that's going to cost them a precious couple of seconds. Everybody else looked like they had a pretty clean entry. Parham able to dart back out and only able to just lose the 1 or 2 positions there to Gambrell and Panzarella. So the 99 with just a little bobble, but not too bad there in the grand scheme of things, as he will still have a close to the front starting position here on the restart. Dalton Connor does a really good job there on exit as well. You see Lucas Alves here and Matthew Fritz behind him. So that tells me that Connor took 4, Joe.
Yep, it looks like him and Sam Milliken are going to be your 2 boys on the tires from this caution. Those 2, the only 2 that are going to take their first of 2 sets lying in the pits.
So yeah, so these guys are rolling the dice as it were. One set of tires remaining for each of them. Joe Volpus is going to be your new race leader, inheriting that under the caution circumstance. David Brenner going to be in second. So two guys that are no strangers to the front here are going to be able to lead us on the restart and get a precious point for Volpus there to lead a lap too. So that's going to benefit him as we see the long season-long points battle. Every point matters.
Yeah, gonna need as many chase points as you can get to start the chase. So, of course, finishing better in the regular season is one of the main ways to gather those chase points. Otherwise, getting 0x's, winning races as well, and of course, perfect attendance in the regular season. So, one of those main ways though is score as many points as you can, as that's the way you make the chase in this series as well.
Now, what a better way to do it than to stay out on caution, make it a one-stop race while leading laps here. Definitely a good strategy play. We'll see how it works out. You have Gambrill behind Volpus there in row 2. Zach Panzarella up there, up top in row 2. Outside, Parham and Stinson behind them. And Redinger and Steve Lewis behind them. So it's a who's who. It's a rogues gallery. It's quite a top 10 there. And these guys are on a mixed bag of strategy. As you see a few cars behind them, we've noted Fritz and Connor with the freshies down there on the bottom, rows 5 and 6.
Yeah, so yeah, a little bit further back for Dalton Connor than he really probably wants to be. Like you said, back there on row 5 with Fritz, and then of course, or actually, he might be on the row with Alves. And then way back is Milliken back alongside Beverly. So those guys are gonna have a lot of work cut out for them if they want to make these tires worth it. I do feel like it might be too early to really think about taking a set, just because of the length of this race still left.
Yeah, 85 lap main feature tonight for Michigan. The lights are off the pace car as we approach the restart zone. Volpus going to lead him middle of the zone. He's going to take off, and we're back to racing on Friday Night Thunder. And Volpus going to get a great restart. David Brenner going to get a great jump on the outside as well. You see Gambrill on the inside in the Lucky Charms machine. Zach Panzarella in the middle right there. But Gambrill's looking inside. Is he going to get the run? Parham's right behind him. They're 3 wide through 1 and 2. Incredible. And they're able
No,
to,
no,
whoa,
no,
not keep it together.
no!
Carnage here at a 2 as you see them all sandwich and go for the same spot. Brenner involved, Parham involved, Panzarella involved. Unbelievable action right there. Cautions out for the 3rd time from Michigan.
And Brandon Garand is going to be happy with that one. That's a lap back right there. Quick caution right off the restart. Going to get one of those 2 laps back immediately. Couldn't have drew it up any better right there.
Yeah, he was down 2 laps, so he was needing to find ways to unlap himself. So this is going to do part of the job. Going to put him 1 lap down as the lucky dog candidate. But this is pure Michigan right there, Joe. Prime example, guys going for the same spot. You know, we're just getting a little loosey-goosey. And whew, it was a sandwich play.
Yeah, looks like all 3 of them pretty much. Poor Brenner up there just trying to mind his own business. And it looks like the 46 may have gotten a little bit loose, came up into the 1. The 1 trying to keep it under control as well. Looks like they just both get a little bit loose and ran out of space. 22 was already up there. And it creates a sandwich situation that wrecks them, and they collected Parham with them as well.
I think the 46 thought he may have been clear there, but not quite, as you saw the drift up the racetrack. Just wrong place at the wrong time, and unfortunately the 22 heavy damage, the 99 heavy damage, the 1 heavy damage as well. So those guys are going to have to address that in the pits, but what carnage.
Let's take one last look at it here. What a hit into the 99.
That was incredible contact there. Yeah, Parham taking a big shot. The 22 taking multiple shots out of that one. Just a hard hit. So those guys are going to have to address that in the pits. And I think it's a great time for a sponsor break and shout out one of our prime sponsors.
Oh, yeah.
Here at KK Woodscapes, we only work with the finest woods, the finest tools. We sand the wood here at KK Woodscapes. We stir the paint with a wooden stick here at KK Woodscapes. And then we brush the wood with a wooden brush here at KK Woodscapes. And when it's all said and done, we have these perfectly manicured nails. Put the plaques in the trophies, in the envelopes, ship them to your box, and on your way to you to commemorate your special day. Got wood, KK Woodscapes.
And we're back to you from Michigan, and I believe I know the answer to that question. So if you have any trophy, plaque, or Art Deco needs recognition, Kevin Kyle and KK Woodscapes can put it all together for you. Your creation, he brings it to life. So please reach out. He makes the trophies for multiple series, and he's an incredible talent to work with. So if you got wood, he's got the wood. So back to Michigan, Joe. This has been quite exciting. Third caution of the night after we saw 3 become 1 there with the sandwich effect. Joe Volpes is going to retain the lead. Eric Gambrill going to start outside row 1 on this one. So those guys, I guess they all had to use the fast repair on that, if I'm not mistaken. Am I correct?
Yeah, so looking at the pit times right there, Justin Parham ends up with a 5-second pit stop, so I'd say either that was little damage or a fast repair. Jack Sanders pit, it looks like he topped off on fuel. Zach Panzarella had a 40-second pit stop, so that tells me he actually was able to repair his damage. And David Brennert had a 14-second pit stop, and with the amount of damage he had, that tells me that's 4 tires and a fast repair for him.
So they're repaired and recovered and going to gather it back up. These guys are just super competitive out there. Just one of those unfortunate racing incidents. You see a newcomers to the front, Ken Redinger outside row 2, Joe. So he's been kind of quiet up to this point. Looking forward to seeing what he's going to do as we say, "Oh, Canada," there as we're in the Canada in the foreground there, just miles away from this racetrack. And pace car is off. We have these unique camera angles. Look at the flag man. He's saying, "Hey guys, it's green. We're back to action on Friday Night Thunder." Volpes gets a great jump out of the hole. And you see behind them Gambrill side by side with Jay Stinson. Side by side, Redinger on the high side behind them. And Joe Volpes is going to get away as these guys are battling behind him. Redinger slides down low to take P3 from Gambrill. Going to slide right up there. Matthew Fritz looking to do the same thing. He's going to be caught down there. Steve Lewis is going to get the momentum. But they're going down the backstretch as we get back up to speed on Friday Night Thunder.
Yeah, back up to speed. And now you got Volpes leading over Stinson, Redinger, and then you got this side-by-side battle for 4th between Gambrill and Fritz going in the wrong direction without the draft help.
Yeah, you don't want to be caught hanging down there because you're just going to bleed positions as these guys carry the momentum. They're in the draft. They're getting incredible pace, forcing him to dive it down low to try to gather it back up side by side with Gambrill right there. Jay Stinson loses it.
He's able to
Stinson able to recover nicely. Woo, good save for the 60 machine. Got a little loose there on corner exit. That track can do it to you. We've seen it here a couple times already tonight, but Stinson able to gather it back up, get back in there, and Fritz loses it in the grass. Look at him landscaping. That track temp is heated up. Wow, unbelievable here on the restart. Couple cars lose it.
Yep.
Good save for the 48 as well, Joe.
And that's going to put Ken Redinger into a familiar place right up towards the front now in 2nd spot. If he's able to clear Gambrill here, he's got Joe Volpes in his sights to get back to what he's been doing a lot of this season, and that's leading laps.
Yeah, Redinger able to clear the 46 of Gambrill, but Volpes has a 2-car length advantage. And you see the similar effect of when Zach Panzarella was leading earlier. He's got that little force field of a bubble, that clean air really taking shape. He's got good drive off the corner there as he comes to the line. It's lap 31 of 85. Volpes, your race leader.
Yep, Gambrill trying to use this bottom without any help behind, because look at this cab. We're going to go back to that blimp cam and go to everything that's going on back here because it's crazy.
Woo! Look at that. 3 wide behind them. Incredible. Look at them slide back up. They're desperate to ride the wall there. The high line definitely the dominant place to be. Look at it carry the momentum to get by the one there. Panzarella dives it down deep. It forces you, Swingle, as well, to drive it down deep to try to be able to find a place to slide back up to get up there. But you see the high line carries it as we go down the D-oval. Incredible action. Sam Milliken trying to weave his way through it as you see Parham in front leading the charge.
Yeah, pretty much all these guys now 2x2 on back. You see Matt Novella trying to make a move up the inside. Sam Milliken not able to get it to stick. And now we're going to fall back into the clutches of Panzarella and Swingle. Steve Lewis making a move around Dalton Connor. John Beverly right behind them as well. And there comes David Brenner into the picture.
Yeah, the 22 entering the picture. The 77, woo, try to get around that 88. Steve Lewis, a little bit of handling issue there. David Brenner takes advantage, gets the 2-for-1 on that.
Back up
And
front,
then
it
Jay
looks
Stinson,
like,
you see him moving through the field as well.
looks like Eric Gambrill, Lucas Alves have fallen back into the clutches of Parham and Milliken. And now it looks like it's a 2-car breakaway pretty much. Right now, Joe Vulpes trying to break the draft from Ken Redinger, who's about a half second behind him. If he's able to break that draft, then that's going to really change what's going on. But this battle for third is starting to heat up.
Yeah, Vulpes taking advantage of them battling, driving away, but this battle is very compelling behind him. Gambrill, he's looking to get around, going to give Alves a shove right there, get that momentum. Maybe 2 are better than 1. Parham right behind them, side by side. Novella and Swingle behind them. Connor and Brenner. And then Panzarella enters the fray as well. Well, quite a pack, 3 wide racing right there. 3 wide. Matt Novella is the victor on that one, riding the rails, getting the momentum.
Yeah, but now it's left 2x2 behind him. However, he's going to need some draft partners to get up to this next group in front of him. Right now, Ken Redinger and Lucas Alves are leading this first group, trying to get back up towards Joe Vulpes, who's got about a half-second advantage.
Yeah, incredible work from Alves, who's said over the comms that he has no feedback on his wheel. He's just doing this by sheer will and determination. No wheel input, no feedback for the 115 machine.
Yeah, you can look at that there, 17th to 3rd here in the first 35 laps. Impressive run here so far from Lucas Alves. Work his way all the way to the front in that beautiful Greg Biffle tribute scheme.
Yeah, for the Biff, let's do this. Incredible. Lucas Alves having by far his best run of the season up to this point on a brand new wheel setup. But unfortunately, he's still working out the bugs. No force feedback. He's doing a hell of a job.
Yeah, doing a hell of a job right here and trying to help Ken Redinger close this gap to Vulpes. Right now, all these guys staying single file, trying to do their best with the draft. A little further back, it looks like David Brenner has finally found his way clear of these guys for 7th, and it's just chaos behind him.
3 wide behind him. Swingle throwing it in the middle. Connor and Novella, looks like Novella hit the wall a little bit. It's a little loose up there. You see the wiggle out of the 56. You see the wiggle out of the 1 far behind them. That high line looks a little treacherous right now between the combo of the dirty air and the hot tire.
Yeah, Brandon Garan trying to work his way forward. He's still a lap down. He'll need a caution to get back into this still. Still very early in the race, not even the halfway. And look at this, Ken Redinger's losing time to Vulpes now with Parham behind him. Very interesting that usually you would expect Parham and Redinger to work together really well to work their way towards the race lead, but the absolute opposite's happening right now.
You can almost see it looks like they're ice skating a little bit. It looks like the cars are sliding a little bit as there's definitely a little bit of a grip issue there. These guys just hanging on by a thread. Look at the way, I know the cars are skewed, but look at how they enter the corner there. It looks like they're just riding on that right rear. Incredible on the balance of loose. Look at Gambrill there. Oh my goodness. Classic case of it right there as he's getting in front of the pack. Redinger going to shove him along. But typically we're used to Redinger leading and the others trying to figure out ways to catch back up. And Vulpes is driven away. Oh my goodness, look at that.
Parham gets really
Oof.
loose there off turn 4, loses a couple spots. This is going to get them back single filed out. So we'll see if they're able to start closing in as Vulpes has opened up a 2-second advantage now.
Yeah, Vulpes is driven away, but you can hear over the driver comms there, the guys are talking about how it gets a little dicey in 3 and 4, especially when you're up top. So it must be a combination of that dirty air and maybe the tires coming into play a little bit here, as you've seen these guys be very racy up to this point.
You can see those two
Look at that.
laps prior.
That car is just set sail.
Yeah, the 2 laps prior, they lost 0.8 combined over those 2 laps. We'll see what they lose on this one. It's another half second on top of it. So they're just losing a bunch of time right now.
13 saying, guys, have at it. I'm just going to be doing what I'm doing. 13, Joe Vulpes having a solid showing driving away. Eric Gambrill leading the charge. I think they're going in single file here, trying to work this out and work together. That's going to be their only shot at trying to reel in Vulpes. Vulpes with a great advantage. As you see Milliken down below him. Sam Milliken making a charge, battling for second. Is he going to be able to complete the pass? And it looks like he's going to be able to complete the pass on Gambrill. Sam Milliken to second.
Sam Milliken, one of the guys that's taken tires in this race, so it makes sense that Gambrill's going to let him by to try and lead and catch up to this to the leader. I almost said group because it's so weird to see one car just drive away like this, but try and catch up to Vulpes with him as the leader. And I think while all these boys are trying to work together to catch back up, it might be a good time right here at halfway to crank it up.
Hey, this is what we do on Friday Night Thunder, MRL style. Let's crank it up. And we're back to you after an extended Crank It Up session here on Friday Night Thunder. MRL Broadcasting. I'm your host, Snake, and I've got Smokin' Joe with me. Do a little race recap for you. Just past halfway here at the Irish Hills of Michigan, Joe Volpus, your current race leader, has driven off to a 3.5-second advantage. There have been one lead change thus far. I think we've had 2 lead changes thus far, to be fair. Zach Panzarella started us out, and then Justin Parham led a little bit. Now Joe Volpus, your current race leader. We've had 3 cautions up to this point as well. So a fairly clean race from Michigan, but Volpus clearly with the dominant car at this point.
Yeah, so if we look at where our other boys that have been leading at points in this race are, Justin Parham back here in 7th currently, trying to battle his way back forward, right in the thick of it right now. And back in 13th is where Zach Panzarella is at. After repairing that car up, not able to stick with that lead group, going to need a caution, I think, to maybe get back into it for himself.
Yeah, and you can hear over the driver comms Panzarella and Beverly behind him talking about how those tires are really starting to kick in and it's getting a little sketchy out there. So they're hoping that something's going to give so they can put fresh rubber on those tires, on those cars as they're on their original set. 48 laps, pretty impressive on initial set of tires.
Yeah, it is. And looking right now at the lap times, even for these guys that are drafting together, they're still going pretty much the same pace as the leader Volpus is by himself. So they're not really gaining anything right now. Going side by side for 2nd place is just going to open up that gap even more. So it looks like we might have a car on pit road.
These guys head and just battling, Gambrel and Milliken for 2nd. You see Richard Swingle there going to go for service. I believe he has had enough and wants to throw a set of tires on that 97 Movies machine.
This is just inside the window to make it to the end, so he is in the window to make it here.
So Richard Swingle taking a throw of the dice at the strategy, saying, hey man, you got to try something that the leaders aren't doing if you want to put yourself in a position to win. So Swingle going for it here just before lap 50.
Yep, it looks like coming down this time as well as your leader Volpus going to be pitting this time as he's out of fuel here. This time Nat Novella as well. All these guys on a little bit of a different strategy to pit a little bit earlier.
These guys will be able to make it to the end if we do go green. So a bold strategy there. Volpus leading the class act of the field on that run there to a 3.5-second advantage. So Volpus going to take the freshies, pack it full of fuel, and it looks like a pretty clean pit entry, pit service. And Novella there, he's going to take the freshies, pack it full of fuel as well. And he's off. Great pit entry, great pit exit, great work by these drivers there. So they're going to be able to maximize that pit cycle and get back in the mix. As you see, Eric Gambrel's going to inherit the lead as a result of 46 Lucky Charms machine, your new race leader. Sam Milliken in 2nd. Brandon Guerin still a lap down, racing with the leaders, trying to unlap himself the traditional way. Very racy, that 57 Mustang. The yellow Bumblebee machine looking great out there. So see if he can get that lap back.
Yep, so looking at this, Volpus was able to stay on the lead lap. So right now he's 16th place. Last car on the lead lap, which is very good for Garand, who wants to get his lap back. He's got Matt Novella. Looks like he's about 4 seconds or so behind the race leader at Gambrel. So that would be the first guy he's got to worry about in terms of getting past for the Lucky Dog.
Yeah, Sam Milliken took those tires earlier. He's trying to battle up there. He drove up through the field. We're currently up to 2nd, but under fire from Justin Parham, looking to gain that position. They're side by side as Milliken pushes Garand into the corner. Looks like Parham and Milliken side by side. Parham's going to gain the advantage for now. They're on corner exit, and it looks like Parham's going to have the momentum, going to have 2nd place for now, and Redinger's right there, battling right behind him 4th.
Yep, these guys right now here are just hoping for a caution here for things to cycle back in their favor.
Milliken there challenging for the lead. Milliken with the slide job. Sam Milliken, your race leader. Guerin side by side trying to still unlap himself. Parham going to use that all to his advantage, but pushing Guerin down the back.
Yep, looks like that may have helped out Sam take the lead there from Gambrel there. All the battling for getting back on the lead lap. So took advantage of that and put himself back in the race lead.
Dan Milliken, your new race leader, that 17 machine looking racy. Gambrel drives down in front of Parham, going to get behind Guerin, push Guerin to see if he can get back into the catbird seat and battle Milliken. It's like the 46 and 17 have been battling lap after lap the last 20 laps or so. Incredible action as Guerin unlaps himself on the tail end of the lead lap. Contact with Parham and Gambrel.
Almost was a wreck right there. Everybody able to keep it straight. And now Ken Redinger is trying to battle for the race lead.
The 24 is emerging as a presence. Jay Stinson behind him. David Brenner on the high line in the 22 right there. Look at all this gaggle.
Yep, and what this is doing is, if this thing goes green, I'm watching the time, and Volpus has already gained about 2 seconds on these guys on top of what he had before. So they're going to need a mammoth pit stop if this thing goes green. Lucas Alves looks like he just came down pit road here this time as well.
Alves pitting for his service. It looks like he overshot the pit stop right there, so he has a small issue. Going to jack the car up. He's going to get freshies and pack it full of fuel. Sam Milliken still your race leader as Gambrel's still trying to battle. Matt Novella coming through the field trying to unlap himself and get back into the mix. The more that these leaders stay out, the more time they are losing to Novella and to Volpus, as these guys don't take no for an answer. Gambrel going to fight back, battle back over Milliken, battle for the lead. I can't even get the words out, Joe. They're battling side by side. It's aggressive racing tonight, and it's incredible show that these guys are putting on for you, the viewer.
Yep, we'll see if maybe anybody comes down this time. Still waiting to see what the idea is going to be here. 46 is a little loose. 46 is spinning.
Gambrel spinning. Gambrel losing it. Oh, takes his nose off contact right there. I think that's going to bring out the yellow, and indeed it does. Under caution for the 4th time tonight from Michigan. Eric Gambrel pushing that car, battling Milliken lap after lap, loses it on exit and gets his nose clipped.
That's going to change strategy a lot. It looks like Matt Novella might have gotten back on the lead lap. It looks like he did. So in that case, it looks like Swingle, by virtue of having a clean pit stop, will get the lucky dog over Lucas Alves, who wasn't able to catch up to him in time.
Incredible series of events. You saw Guerin in the 57 unlap himself the conventional way, and then Matt Novella follows suit. So these guys are back on the lead lap, back in the swing of things. So Brandon Guerin with the early trouble goes down 2 laps, now back on the lead lap. Sam Milliken, your race leader, that 17, looks very fast tonight as well. As we ride on board, you see Gambrel just trying to get every little bit out of it, gets loose and overcorrects. A very easy thing to do here at Michigan, especially on those older tires.
We'll take a look at that from Swingle's point of view. Not sure if Swingle might have had contact here. Not sure, it might have been netcode. In that case, it might give the lucky dog here to Lucas Alves, and Swingle will have to stay out for the wave around.
Very interesting there, yeah. It looks like there was a little bit of contact. I wonder if that did register on iRacing. You see how close he got in and just shaved the front fascia off the 46 machine. And all that does is cycle back to Joe Volpus, your race leader, as a result.
Yeah, but it's going to be on a little bit older tires. Him and Novella pitted on 49. The rest of these guys are pitting here on lap 57, so they'll have 8-lap fresher tires. And you can see it there. Look at that. Swingle right now is going to be, it looks like the wave around car, because the lucky dog was given to Lucas Alves. So just like we suspected, the 97 did make contact. Whether or not it was netcode, doesn't matter to iRacing. It gave the lucky dog to the other lap car.
It triggered a 0x. It still triggers. So Alves, your lucky dog. Swingle just hoping to get waved around right there as well. And Volpus and Novella going to be your front row for this restart. Granted, they're on a few lap old tires, but they've cooled off, so they might be able to be racy and make it stick on the restart, but they're going to have a hungry herd behind them.
Yeah, looking at the pit times, the only guy I would suspect didn't take 4, may have taken 2 or none, is Brandon Garand back in 15th. May have just maybe had a little bit of damage to fix and took fuel only here. 12.48, not fast enough for a four tire pit stop. So a little bit of strategy there. Everybody else though for certain took 4.
So you're going to have a field full of freshies to one degree or another. Your leaders on the least freshest of the fresh. Say that 5 times fast. But what's incredible to me is that you're going to see guys like Ken Redinger behind them, Justin Parham behind them. You have Fritz, you have Stinson, Sam Milliken, who was your recent leader before the caution came out. It's going to be a very racy pack. The laps are starting to wind down, so these drivers are going to start jockeying for the position more, maybe get a little bit more desperate, a little bit more bold in the maneuvers that they do take. So we're going to be excited to see this powder keg here on the restart.
Yeah, we'll see how much 8-lap difference in tires matters here. Front row on those 8-lap older tires, so that means Novella and Vulpes both going to be at a bit of a disadvantage. It's going to be interesting if it's going to happen or not.
Absolutely. You know, we've seen some comers and goers as a result of the dirty air, as a result of the tire wear. And now that you've had multiple strategies at play with a caution in what was going to be the pit cycle to begin for the rest of the field, it just shakes things up that much more. It's going to make it spicy on this restart.
Yep. I wonder if those fresher tires are going to make the difference for guys like Redinger, Parham, the usual suspects up front here. Fritz, here we go.
We're about to find out as we come to the restart zone. Vulpes leading him down. He's going to go late in the box. He's going to get a great jump there. Redinger's going to follow suit. Matt Novella caught sleeping up top. They're stacked up top. We're back racing from Michigan on Friday Night Thunder. Vulpes clears with ease. Redinger clears with ease. Matthew Fritz looking inside as well, but Matt Novella is going to be able to throttle it back up. Parham looking inside, and they're going to make it a little dicey there. Novella's going to gain the position. Parham going to drive down and go to the bottom side by side. Redinger, Vulpes for the lead. Vulpes with the advantage on the outside. Redinger going to dive it down on the inside. Vulpes takes the middle lane. Redinger with a slight advantage, but Vulpes going to come back on the outside, and Vulpes is going to retain the lead, and Fritz is coming with Novella right there. Joe Vulpes, your leader.
Yeah, so far so good for Novella and Vulpes, able to hold on for the most part here. Vulpes holds on to the lead, and Novella trying his best now to hold on to third, but I think
3 wide.
Oh yeah, 3 wide right behind him. Parham may have thought about taking it 4 wide, because I think here now, once these tires are up to temp, for everybody on freshies, that's when it's going to flip on Novella and Vulpes.
Yeah, Parham pushed Novella down there, gave him the shove, but Parham's going to carry the momentum on the outside there. Novella's going to slip back up, but Parham dives down below with the crossover move. Parham definitely with the advantage. You see in those tires right now. Novella's starting to struggle. Milliken's coming. Fritz is coming. And Panzarella's going to enter the fray there. Is he going to push it 3 wide? Yes, sir, he is. They're 3 wide behind Novella. Oh, my goodness. Panzarella, the meat in the sandwich. Milliken and Fritz on the outer sides.
Go time, 24 to go.
We saw that they were going to get a little bit more desperate here. Laps are clicking down. Even though it's a 2-mile oval, those laps will go by before you know it. And you want to maximize those tires. You want to try to get in that clean air and challenge as they're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, a lot of battling going on here towards the back end of the top 10. Right now, these boys trying their best to just hang on to the lead group. Speaking of the lead group, we got a battle for the lead, I think, brewing.
Yeah, Joe Vulpes driving away just a little bit, but Redinger and Parham are gathering back up. You can see Parham's been the most aggressive on this restart. He is trying to charge forward. He's going to help push the 24. Is he going to take matters into his own hands? We're about to find out. And look at this, 3 wide again. Novella, the meat in the sandwich. Woo! Look at Beverly wrap the top. Fritz underneath. 3 wide once more. These guys are going for it. Steve Lewis coming through, making an appearance.
Novella in one corner goes from 3rd to outside the top 10.
Incredible action as you see Stinson and Milliken side by side. Redinger and Vulpes battling for the lead. Parham right behind them. Vulpes going to carry the momentum on the outside. Parham tried to sneak it through there, but he's going to stay behind Redinger and work with Redinger. They're side by side. Vulpes and Redinger on the backstretch entering 3. Redinger with the slight advantage, but Vulpes is going to try to carry the momentum on the outer band. And Redinger with a slight advantage. Looks like Redinger's going to take it. Ken Redinger, your new leader at Michigan, with Parham right on his heels.
Yeah, able to clear him, and it's going to be a 1-2 clear for Redinger and Parham here, 21 to go. It looks like the tires are flipping into the advantage of the guys that pitted over the guys that didn't pit.
So 8-lap old tires are going to be at a slight disadvantage. We've just shown it. Parham looking very racy to challenge Redinger. Sam Milliken entering the picture again as you see the lap car of Lucas Alves. Incredible action. Ken Redinger at the point. Parham trying to find a way to make it happen. Sam Milliken has established himself as a front runner tonight.
Yeah, we got some chaos going on here from third on back.
3 wide. 3 wide action. Incredible. That high line is ripping. These guys are trying all the desperate moves.
Jack Panzarella tried to shove it down in there, and he almost made it stick to the lead. He's going to have to get a big run here, though, if he's going to make it work.
And he's going to get a shove from Milliken right here. Sam in the 17 going to help the 1. As you see Dalton Connor dive it below with Matt Fritz. Wow, 3 wide action behind there.
Almost 4.
It's Stinson up top. Look at that, 3 wide behind them with Beverly and Brenner and Guerin. Contact. Oh, the 57 and the 77 make contact. The 22 in the wall. The big one at Michigan. We're under caution again.
Oh, I think that's going to be it for the 22. A lot of damage. I think the 57 might be done as well. I think we just lost 2 cars in this one wreck.
So we saw it brewing, Joe. 3 wide, everybody just making one bold move after another, ratcheting up the intensity. Something had to give, and the yellow flag waves. Caution for the 5th time tonight from Michigan.
See here, it looks like they just all started running out of space. 77 trying to give space to the inside, gets a little twitchy, and then the 77, not realizing, I think, that they were still 3 wide, ends up making contact with the 77 trying to save it. And poor David Brenner, for the 2nd time tonight, just minding his own business on the outside and gets his race ended just like that.
The incredible 3 wide action, 77, the meat in the sandwich, and the 57 and the 22 unable to continue. Very unfortunate. All these guys racing hard. You see Steve Lewis gets involved there, collateral damage, and just an unfortunate incident. However, the big one destined to occur at a place like this when you have this pack racing.
Yeah, it looks like Lucas Alves might have actually avoided this, so I think he'll get the lucky dog here, see? So good job by him making sure he didn't make any contact with anything.
Yeah, so the 115 going to be the benefactor after having some difficulty in the pits earlier. So Lucas Alves able to get an advantage there and get his lap back. But you see the 22 going to have to retire. And the 24, he's going to get some servicing. It looks like some
Split
tires
decision.
there. Was those left sides or were those all 4?
All 4, everybody coming down for their last set here that did come down this time. It looks like Parham was out of pit road after Redinger, so Redinger, Parham, Stinson, Vulpes, the first 4 out. Everybody else might be doing some damage fixing further back, like Steve Lewis, Richard Swingle, Gambrell doing some damage fixing, as well as John Beverly. Brenner, of course, out of the race. Looking at Lucas Alves, he just got a lap back, so now he's 1 down. Just needs 1 more caution to get back in it. And then you got the guys that stayed out. Those top 8, none of them came down here, so they're going to be on the older tires this time.
Yeah, so we'll see what that does here as the laps are clicking down. We saw what happened with Vulpes and Novella there with the 8-lap older tires when we had the last restart. And after about 2 to 3 laps, you started seeing the hard chargers on the fresh tires start to show their dominance with the fresher equipment. Vulpes held on as long as he could, but those guys reeled him in. So we'll see what happens on the flip side of the coin here as we see these guys are going to be perhaps sitting ducks as we get to the final stages of the race tonight. So if that was any preview, Joe, we're in for some fireworks here to end things, huh?
Yeah, I believe we are. Speaking of some fireworks, I think it's a good time to shout out one of our other very popular partnerships out there. Good old Sim and Destroy Racing Company with Kevin Kyle and all those beautiful T-shirts that he's been making.
Absolutely. I got the Goldie there, the launch edition. It's an awesome T-shirt. I've got the hat to match. Then you have your Gentleman Never Lift shirt. I think that's probably going to be next on my shopping list. And then, of course, the trifecta, burning rubber, not bridges. So Sim and Destroy making their presence felt within the sim racing community across different series and leagues within iRacing. So if you like what you see there, why don't you go take a look? They got a great merch shop. And once again, Kevin Kyle, a man of many hats. He's got it going on. Check him out.
3 retirements now in the race. We suspected, David Brenner, Brandon Garand, both out of the race. Will join Nate Lesko behind the garage, behind the wall in the garage, leaving 17 cars left in the race. 16 of them on the lead lap. Lucas Alves needs one more caution.
So if they keep going like they've been, that may happen. We'll have to wait and see. Right now, pace car is lights are off. He's going to pull down pit road. Zach Panzarella on the inside, Dalton Connor on the outside. And we're going to get into the restart zone. Panzarella with a great jump gets the advantage on the high line with ease as we're back racing from Michigan. 16 to go. And ARCA Friday Night Thunder. Panzarella with a great jump there, able to clear, go move up high, migrate down and get the corner entry that he prefers. Going to be able to drive away like we saw to start the race, Joe. Panzarella once again, master of the restart.
Look at this, 3 wide further on back. Fresh tires, Ken Redinger.
Here comes Connor, here comes Milliken, here comes Fritz. They're coming, boys. Matt Novella as well. Look at Redinger behind there, 3 wide. Incredible. The Hornet's Nest is back at it again from Michigan. Fritz going to make it 3 wide, thread the needle. Matthew Fritz, he's going to take the lead from Panzarella. Incredible, the 48 to the point.
Oh,
Fritzy to the lead. Panzarella going to challenge on the outside. It's the battle between the 1 and the 48. The 48 dive it down to the line. Panzarella in the 1 going to gain the advantage up top. Matt Novella going to try to get the momentum and the pace. Matt versus Matt. Novella wins. Look at Jack Sanders as well, Volpus. Wow, incredible action right there. It's 3 wide behind them with Milliken, Stinson. Too much going on the track to say at one time. 3 wide with Redinger.
Redinger trying to come through on the fresh tires.
Woo!
He's
Contact.
Yep, him, Jay Stinson, and Volpus and Parham all trying to come through this field, and it's just not working to this point. They're not making the progress they need to. Gonna need to start making some serious moves if they want to get up front.
Yeah, they're just battling. Joe Sanders, wrecking behind them. Woo! It's incredible. It's a sandwich effect. Steve Lewis involved, Beverly involved, Richard Swingle, and Jerry Rose involved as well. It's the second big one from Michigan that's going to put us into the caution for the 6th time tonight with 14 laps to go. Oh, my goodness. Gambrel involved in well. Look at all the carnage.
Yeah, a lot of stuff missing on the 46. Front end missing on the 77. Steve Lewis looks torn up. Richard Swingle involved. Looking like Jerry Rose has a lot of damage. He's crab walking. I think Lucas Alves hopefully was far enough away from this that he gets the lucky dog.
Yeah, he may be able to get back on the lead lap, but some heavy hitters involved. Just as we get back to green, it happens once again. Let's ride on board and unfold the action.
Hey. I think the 51
my
hit the right rear of the 97. It shot him up the track. We'll go slow-mo here and see if that's really the case.
Okay, get that super slow motion right there. The 97 kind of moves up.
There it is, right there.
Contact with the 51, slides him over into the 88, left hooks him.
Now we're all wrecking.
And then no place to go. It's a bang-bang move.
Yeah, there goes Tommy Fox down the inside. Looks like the 115 wasn't even close to this wreck. Oh, yeah, there he goes. Hey, yeah, that's a good one there. Lucas Alves should get the lucky dog. I don't think he was even close to this one.
So the 97 moves the 51 into the 88, and boom, there it was.
Yeah, I think
Nowhere
that's
to go.
just a case of Michigan once again.
Absolutely is. Just wrong place at the wrong time. It's a big product of the multi-groove style of racing, and with under 15 laps to go, these guys are getting desperate, trying to get every little bit that they can,
So
and that's going
pretty
to bring
much,
these guys up
yep.
front. They're going to take their tires now, huh, Joe?
Yeah, pretty much everybody that didn't pit last time is going to pit this time to come take his set. Sam Milliken, I think you remember he took tires early, and then he took them on 57. He's out of tires, so he stayed out. Same with Dalton Connor, also out of tires, so he stays out in 6th. So first and 6th are not going to be on 57 tires from lap 57. Cars 2nd through 5th are going to be on tires from 67. And then you're going to have the freshies coming out 73. That's Panzarella, Novella, Sanders, Fritz, Tommy Fox, Gambrel, using that fast repair there. Looks like Jerry Rose using the fast repair. John Beverly using the fast repair. So all those guys now on fresh tires.
Yeah, so for guys like Milliken and for Connor, they were hoping for it to go green so the race would play back into their hands. But now they're going to be at a slight disadvantage with those behind them on slightly fresher tires and those that pitted on the freshest of the tires. So we'll see if Sam can do a great job to fight them off. But with 11 laps to go, it's going to be quite a curiosity to see how he can battle and retain the lead. But the 17's had great speed all night, so very excited to see him out front. And Jay Stinson right behind him, right place at the right time. One of the usual suspects in the front, as well as Redinger, and you see Vulpes there and Parham. So all the heavy hitters are here towards the end to decide this. And I can't wait for this restart because you have such a mixed bag of tires and strategies.
Yeah, Sam Milliken, the last thing you wanted to see right there was a caution flag, because now pretty much everybody behind him has fresher tires to some degree. That is the worst case scenario for someone like him. On an island now, all by himself. We'll see if he's able to hold on to any of this track position. We saw that pretty much on the initial ripoff, that you can hold on for a couple laps, but we have more than a couple to go. So Sam's best cheerleader advice now is going to be he needs the cheerleaders of the guys to keep wrecking now, and cautions breed cautions into a green-white checkered.
Yeah, hopefully trying to slow play this race to an end. If that could be the case, a green-white checker scenario might benefit him the most, as he might have enough to fight the horde back behind him. But as it stands, we're going to have 9 to go when we cross the line and go green. And you have a hungry Jay Stinson on the outside, Joe Vulpes behind him there as well. And then you have Redinger and Parham behind him on the inside. It's going to be quite the workout for him. And then don't forget about Panzarella, who's led laps as well, and Matt Novella, who's always looking to get that trophy. Pace car's going to pull off here, and hopefully we're going to get things settled for Michigan, and we go back green here on Friday Night Thunder. It's race 5 of season 3. The action is picking up as we enter the restart zone, and Sam Milliken is going to go late in the box. He gets a jump. We're back racing. It's going to be 10 to go at the line here at Michigan.
Looks like Swingle had to pull down off the track. He's going to go to the back of the field, might have some damage. So it looks like he might not be a factor as the rest of these guys try their best. 3 and 4 wide.
Vulpes trying to nudge the 60 of Stinson to get up to speed. Milliken is being challenged already by Redinger. Redinger looking racy on the bottom, but they're going to push and will the 17 down the backstretch. Look at Stinson shoving that 17 down there. Milliken drives down to the middle. Stinson wraps the top. Redinger on the bottom, and the gaggle of Parham and Vulpes 3 wide behind them as Redinger challenges Milliken for the race lead. Redinger at the line. Redinger currently in the race lead, but Milliken fights back, going to retake that lead, entering turn 1. 3 wide behind him, 4 wide behind them.
Yeah, 3 and 4 wide throughout the field. You can see Sanders 3 wide with Fritz, and now Novella, and now 3 wide up front becomes 2 wide as the battle for the lead rages on. There goes Sam Milliken to the inside.
Milliken will not be denied. Battles Redinger on the inside down the backstretch, entering 3. The 17 and the 24 go at it. They are side by side, but Milliken is going to have to back off the throttle as the 24 is going to get the advantage, and Redinger to the race lead. It's those older tires, Joe. He got a little tight.
Yeah, he did. Now we got some tight battling here for second and
Parham.
third. Parham gets clear.
We're going to go 3 wide with Stinson and Panzarella on Milliken. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, Stinson turned by Sanders. And Stinson able to recover.
No caution because he's able to recover.
We're still greens. Jay Stinson for the second time tonight down the backstretch in a harrowing moment, able to gather it back up, but nowhere to go as these guys are 3 wide. Novella into Panzarella there. They're not giving an inch.
Yep, and the battle for the lead is on. Does Volpus try and
Parham.
take it 3 wide? He doesn't. He's going to push Redinger.
Parham briefly with the lead, but Volpus willing Redinger out to the front, and Volpus is going to challenge Parham. Ken Redinger, your leader. Parham's going to slide up, and Volpus hits the wall. Volpus in the wall. Milliken's going to take advantage and gather it back up. Panzarella going to go with Milliken, and Matt Fritz is going to go and stay in the middle and then drift to the bottom. And Volpus is going to gather it back up there. Ken Redinger, your leader. Parham stalking.
Yep, and now the battle is on for third. Sam Milliken still on the older tires, holding on really well, but it looks like he's going to lose some momentum here down the front stretch.
Volpus gathering it back up after a harrowing moment in the wall and able to gather it back up in the podium in the third place. You see Fritz and Fritz Milliken and Novella now 3 wide. Ooh, they're bumping and shoving Sanders in the mix there. Wow. Justin Parham's going to take the lead as a result, and Redinger is going to back it up and go for it. Parham a little loose up top there, had to pedal out of it.
3 wide.
3 wide. Volpus charging to the front. Fritz on the bottom. Joe Volpus in the middle. Parham gathers it back up. Going to get the run on the outside. They're going to be 3 wide entering turn 1.
It's like Parham's got the draft on the outside, but they're still 3 wide for second place.
3 wide. Volpus in the center, driving the race of his life over here, trying to get to Redinger, but Parham's not having it on the outside. Novella's coming too. Here comes Panzarella as well with Sanders. 5 to go from Michigan into turn 3. Redinger with a 3-car length advantage over the 99.
Yeah, they're 3 wide behind them here still as well, as Redinger gets a bit of an advantage coming to 4 to go here. We'll see as it calms down here for a second, but look at all the chaos going on behind.
Everybody trying to get everything they possibly can at this point, making all the moves they possibly can and take it out of their cookbook. Parham in second, trying to maybe cool off those tires, manage that gap to make a late race charge. Volpus gathering it back up, backing it up a little bit, getting a little help from Novella, maybe cooling his tires off to make one last stab at it. And Volpus dives down to the bottom. The 99 stays on the top. Matt Novella stays in the middle with Sanders, and you see Panzarella and Fritz behind them.
And there's that move. He gets around Parham. He's going to try and immediately shoot for the lead.
Volpus challenging Redinger side by side for the lead entering turn 1. Joe Volpus, Ken Redinger. It's a heavyweight battle. Redinger with the advantage on the outside, going to carry the momentum. Can Volpus slide up? Volpus closes the hole on Matt Novella. Matt Novella going to give him a shove. Let's go, baby, go.
And now you
Justin
got 3
Parham
cars
bleeding
on the
positions.
outside. Yeah, you got 3 cars on the outside that usually work together. They're Novella, Sanders, and Volpus. And now you got a lap car in front of them. And it looks like we're going to have a side-by-side battle for the lead down the front stretch.
Down the front stretch, looks like Volpus had to take it down there a little bit extra as to not contact the 24. It's going to cost him a little bit as the 99 shoves the 24. 2 to go from Michigan.
Yep, it looks like 13 didn't get the help he thought he was going to get right there. And now Redinger's got complete control of this, and he's got the help of his teammate Justin Parham right behind him. I think Parham might just play rear gunner here, coming to the white, and then maybe try and make his move on the last lap.
24 with the current escort, but the 56 is looking hungry, and the 13 wants to battle back. Jack Sanders and Eric Gambrell enter the fray. Matthew Fritz as well. Volpus with the drive on the bottom, going to slide up and get back into that high line to get the momentum. White flag from Michigan. Ken Redinger with the lead. Justin Parham right behind him. Matt Novella and Volpus behind them. Volpus drives it deep in the corner, but Redinger is going to have the run on exit. Parham and Novella have the top, and Sanders behind Volpus right there on the backstretch. It's been quite a battle. We've had a few leaders tonight. Will it be settled in 3 and 4? Novella with the Hail Mary, but Redinger is going to carry the momentum. Can Parham answer on the outside? It doesn't look like it's going to happen as Ken Redinger drives down to the apron and is going to take it from Michigan.
Man, that was a really close finish right there. Parham not able to get anything charged up there. Just ended up pushing Redinger, and I think he wanted a chance at it, but Novella denied him a chance to make any sort of a move down there in turns 3 and 4. Parham going to have to settle for second here today.
Incredible action in the final laps as we saw big swings at the lead, and at second and third place we saw all the different ways to make moves at Michigan, every way to try to attempt to make a pass, and Ken Redinger prevails as your victor here at Michigan. Take those celebratory donuts. Jack Sanders gonna watch him as well right there.
I don't know, that guy scares me when he goes out there and follows cars here recently, I'll tell you what.
I know, he took somebody out the last time.
There it is. Look at that. Redinger, not the guy that lead the most laps today. Unconventional for him, but he did lead the important one today, the last lap, and becomes the first repeat winner here of Season 3.
Made it happen when it counted. Ken Redinger in victory lane. That 24, you kind of saw him. He had a quiet start to the race. Joe kind of just filed in, was riding along, and then as we saw the laps unfold, he started making his presence felt, but waited for his moment and battled for the lead when necessary. And despite everybody else's best attempts at it, the 24 going to bring home that trophy tonight.
Yep, and that's going to really help him out in this point situation as well. I'm sure he's going to be thrilled to see his points lead coming out of tonight's race.
Current points leader is going to add to that tonight, no doubt, for sure. But looking at the race results tonight, Redinger with the dub. Justin Parham comes up just a nose short, going to finish second. Would have had another lap at it. We don't know what would have happened, but second place for Parham. Matt Novella hard charging, gets the podium, and then Jack Sanders muscles his way up to a fourth place finish. Joe Volpus, who was battling for the lead, led many laps tonight, going to come home, round out that top 5. Not the result he was looking for tonight. And then John Beverly recovers, gets it home in 6th. A great run for him. He needed that. Matthew Fritz with a strong performance as well, going to be 7th. Eric Gambrell had his ups and downs, led laps, battled for the lead, got caught up in some incidents as well, going to be 8th. Jay Stinson, who we saw up front challenging for that lead, fades to 9th after a couple spins and losing it on the backstretch at the wrong time, but able to recover that to 9th. And Zach Panzarella, who started off the race in the lead, going to be able to round out that top 10 tonight.
Yeah, so you can see these times intervals are really off. After we read off the rest of these results, I think we got some stuff to look at on the last lap. Swingle ends up 11, 30 seconds back, so something definitely happened there in the last lap. Sam Milliken 12th, had a chance there at the end, just the cautions didn't fall in his favor. Dalton Connor, same situation with him with the tires, ends up 13th. Steve Lewis ends up 14th, involved in a lot of incidents there in the last quarter of the race. Tough break for him. And Jerry Rose behind him as well in 15th. Tommy Fox, we saw his race come to an end, I think, there right at the end of it as well. So he'll be very disappointed to finish 16th. 17th will go to Lucas Alves, who had his race, it looks like, abruptly end due to some sort of an issue. And then David Brenner, we see him, he DNF'd a couple cautions ago. Other DNFs include Brandon Garand in that same caution, and Nate Lesko early on in the race had some sort of a technical difficulty as well. And yeah, that brings us back to, let's see what in the world happened.
So unfortunately, not able to interview our race winner tonight. We'd love to get Redinger in the booth at some point, but looking back on the last lap shenanigans right there, quite the chaos as everybody was giving no quarter, and taking everything that they could, and then taking others as well with them. Oh my God, look at that carnage. Incredible action on the last lap. That was brutal, Joe. That was brutal.
Yeah, huge wreck here. Starts with, looks like Zach trying to go to the inside of John, and didn't realize Sam was there, and then Dalton clips the 51 of Jerry at the same time as that happens. So two separate incidents, but same result, and they all end up converging on each other.
Absolutely. So Panzarella helping Milliken earlier, unaware that Sam was hard charging, contact there, and Mean Gene gets collected in the chaos. So just brutal last lap action as everybody's trying to get the best finish possible. And all that does is just brings us to our current updated point standings. Ken Redinger going to open up that 9-point lead he had entering the race to a 19-point lead. And look at that. Eric Gambrill, 19 points behind, right there in second. As you see, Justin Parham with the second place finish going to move up one position, and he's been on a little bit of a hot streak here lately. Joe wins last week, second place tonight. He's moving up the points rapidly, so we'll see what that 99 has in store moving forward. Joe Volpis on a little bit of a slide there, led laps. You could feel like he could taste the win, taste the chance at the victory tonight. Falls a little short. And then Matt Novello with a strong performance with the podium finish. He's going to remain unchanged in fifth. Steve Lewis, despite his troubles tonight, still going to remain in sixth. Not the finish he was looking for tonight, but I know he's going to bounce back and get his top 10 streak going again. And then Dalton Connor with a solid performance tonight. Race didn't quite play out into his hands tonight, but still able to move up 2 spots in the seventh. Tommy Fox, unfortunate, got caught up in some stuff and not the finish he was looking for tonight either. Going to slide a point down to eighth. And then Jay Stinson, not the result he was looking for as well. Michigan reached out and grabbed them a couple times, but able to still gain a points position into ninth. And Jack Sanders with that solid run moves up 3 into 10th.
Yep, and as we look through the rest of the standings, we got that cutoff line at 12, and then we look at the guys with one start. If they stay at one start after next week, their names are going to go into red font because they will no longer be eligible for the chase or the best of the rest. At that point, will have missed too many races. So those guys from 26th on back, that's what we're looking at with them. But back up towards that cut line, Brandon Garand moves up a spot, even with the DNF to 11th, has a nice 10-point cushion right now. And moving into the last playoff spot, chase spot, is going to be Sam Milliken now. He's got 3 points over Jason Rochelle, who missed tonight's race. John Beverly with a crucial race miss start earlier in the season. Right now 14th, just outside the chase. Matthew Fritz on 3 races right now, 13 points out. Daniel Plant-Smith falls out of the top 12 after not being here tonight, so he slips to 16th here, down 5 spots. We look further back, David Brenner, another DNF tonight, not what he wanted, only gets 3 spots out of it. Lucas Alves DNF as well, ends up in 18th. Buddy Sully misses the race as well as Kevin Kyle. They've right now round out the top 20. And then the rest of your guys on 2 starts, you got Zach Panzarella into 21st. Andrew Davis missing tonight's race. He falls to 22nd. Richard Swingle, the big mover of the day, moves up to 23rd. 24th, Alex Hillman after missing today. And Todd Dunn also missed today. He falls to 25th. So 36 drivers now have competed in one of these 5 races. Next week, we'll see some of these guys start getting eliminated from chase contention unless we have a 36-car field for next week's race, which, good segue then into next week's race, which, of course, is going to be at New Hampshire.
Yeah, so the Magic Mile, we're going to go to the flat 1-mile oval, and we'll see what happens there. That short track racing can really bring out the best and the worst in any driver. So the elbows will be out and the aggression will be high. A complete opposite of what we saw tonight at Michigan, a speed palace with that incredible pack racing. We're going to have more of that traditional short track stuff going on where the bump and the banging might come in big doses tonight. And we'll see who comes and brings that home to victory lane with all 4 tires and all the fenders on it.
Yep, first time we're going to New Hampshire. First time we're really going to a heavy braking track like that in the series as well. So we'll see how these boys adjust to going to New Hampshire, going up north, up towards old Maine and New England and that whole area. They just got to watch their team lose a Super Bowl, so congrats to them on that. On being there, I guess. Congrats on being there. Just like we're going to be there next week in New England.
So we'll see who takes home Larry the Lobster, and move looking ahead in the schedule. Going to go to Watkins and some other tracks. But right now, just looking ahead here, the MRL offers an amazing portfolio of races and series to be a part of. Quite the portfolio in the Moonlight Racing League. It all starts on the Monday nights with the Monday Night Mayhem, the Cup Series. It's been really starting to take shape as they're going to go to Mexico City on Monday night. First time there, just like NASCAR did last season. The Cup guy's going to go to Mexico on Monday. So a little road course action. Excited to see that. Practice starts at 10 p.m. Eastern. Live coverage starts at 11 p.m. Eastern. Brought to you by Vortex Racing Network. Zach Panzarella and Mean Gene Money on the call. And then Tuesday night, you got the early bird special. And this isn't just for the elderly. This is for all comers. It's in an earlier time slot. They're going to kick things off at Homestead on Tuesday night. Practice starts at 5. And race goes green at 6 p.m. Eastern. Brand new series. It's in the Gen 6 car, one of my favorites to drive. So if that's something that interest you, right there on the ground floor on the inaugural season of the Early Bird Series. Reach out, we'll get you in there. And then Wednesday night, it's the DDI Moonlight Truck Series. What an incredible series that is. That's a large fields. The DDI drivers, the Moonlight Racing drivers, they've converged, and it's been incredible. First few races had to send some drivers home as only the top 40 qualify. I think they've gotten that field size down to right around that 40 sweet spot. So those boys are right in the swing of things, and they're going to be going to Sonoma. They're going to be doing a little road course racing on Wednesday. Practice starts at 8 Eastern. Race goes green 9:05 Eastern, and they do a tape delay broadcast on that, so you'll be able to catch the coverage as well on the Vortex Racing Network. And then Thursday night, we've got the O'Reilly series. The Thursday Night Thriller is back, this time featuring the O'Reilly series. They're currently in a recruitment period, so if you want to be a part of that, you just reach out. There will be an open session, hosted session on the iRacing as they're gathering drivers to take that on its maiden voyage. We had a recruitment rate at Charlotte last week. It was a good turnout for that. A lot of fun things in stores. They're going to get things kicked off in Auto Club in a few weeks, and then it all culminates here. You just witnessed it. Friday Night Thunder, the ARCA series, incredible competition. We go practice at 10, and we go green at 11 Eastern, and we bring you the rebroadcast typically on a Saturday night, but with the way the schedule's been the last few weeks, it's been a Sunday night rebroadcast, but we'll be back in that familiar time slot next week. And New Hampshire, just like Joe talked about. So be sure to tune in on here on MRL Broadcasting to see the Friday Night Thunder series.
Yep, great schedule, great portfolio to always look out for every week. Very excited for this upcoming week. We got 2 road courses, and then we got, of course, the short track in New Hampshire, another recruitment race for the Thursday Thriller O'Reilly series, as well as Homestead.
O'Reilly. Oh,
Kicking off
wait a
that.
minute. They're not paying us for that. Oh,
Oh
they're-
no.
but yeah,
Oh
absolutely,
no.
Joe. Incredible coverage. I'm excited to see the early bird in the Gen 6 and the O'Reilly series on Thursday night's kickoff. Excited to see those take shape, and just a great place. So if you want to be part of the action, just reach out. It's posted all over social media. You can't miss us, and we'd like to have you a part of the fold. So it's a little bit of a takeaway from tonight, Joe, from Michigan. What'd you see out there?
I mean, we saw some great racing here all night. I mean, just a great battle up front for the race win there at the end. It turned into 3 and 4 wide racing there at the end. Clean for the most part. 6 cautions with all the chaos. Pretty clean by the whole group. Unfortunate some guys weren't able to finish due to a few accidents that happened throughout the course of the race. But one of those tracks where you really expect that kind of stuff to happen, unfortunately. Hopefully we have some more good racing now going into a more technical track in New Hampshire next week.
Yeah, so moving ahead to next week, you alluded to the short track racing with the heavy braking. What to anticipate on the first visit to New Hampshire in the series next week on Friday Night Thunder?
Well, New Hampshire, very, very tough track to really race there, right? Right, C? So, I'm really
Yeah.
expecting to see these boys have to use that brake pedal a lot. And is that going to get these tires heated up enough to where they really wear? Or is it going to be like the modifieds used to be in the Friday Night Thunder series, where it's just all about the tire temperatures, doesn't matter how much they wear? I'm very curious to see which one it is for the race next week, and I think that's pretty much the main question going into every race at this point.
Absolutely. So we're looking forward to bringing the coverage next week from New Hampshire. Congratulations once again to Ken Redinger, tonight's race winner from Michigan. For Smokin' Joe in the booth, I'm your host, Snake. And remember, go fast or get past.